There we go.
All right. So my name's Kristen Canavan. I work in the Center for Global Engagement on the second floor of the USEN, and I'm the Education Abroad Coordinator. And we are joined by Dr. Sahli,
Hi.
who is the faculty leader for the summer 2026 faculty-led study abroad program in Morocco. I'll let Dr. Sahli introduce herself.
So, my name is Michelle Sahli. I am in the College of Health and Health Sciences, more particularly in public health and health sciences. So I teach global health. I teach all public health classes, and I'm really excited about this trip to Morocco. We did it before, and we had a great time. We learned a lot, and I'm really excited to get going and get there again. So thank you for being here.
So, what are we going to talk about in this info session? We're going to talk about the course. We're going to talk about the travel portion of the course. And then afterwards, we're going to talk about costs, how does financial aid work, and then giving you a timeline of important dates, when to apply, and then what comes after you apply. And then, of course, we're going to share how do you apply, and then we'll have time for Q&A afterwards. So without further ado, I'm going to let Dr. Sally take over and just let me know when you want me to change slides. All right.
Okay, I guess you could go to the next slide. Yeah, that's great. So everybody wants to know about the travel portion of the course. So it is a course, but we have a trip. We spend about 10 days and we go to Agadir, Morocco. These are some pictures of things that you will see along the way. We travel together, so we leave from the Detroit airport, and Agadir is in the southern part of Morocco. And to get there, we'll be taking a plane to Paris, and then we switch planes in Paris and we fly to Marrakesh. And we take a bus. So that's really once you get off at Marrakesh, that's really when you start to see everything. We take a bus from Marrakesh. Well, it's a rented bus. It's just us on the bus down to Agadir, where we really start our trip. All right, so we travel all together, and once we arrive in Agadir, I guess we could go to the next slide. Um, we start the trip, but let me back up a little bit. This is a course, right? It's INT 394 or 594 for those of you who are graduate students, and it's going to take place the first part of summer 2026, which begins on May 4th. So before we even leave on May 17th, we'll get together as a group, maybe in person, it may be via Zoom. It really depends on where all the students who are in the course come from, and what's convenient for them. And we'll learn about the healthcare system in the United States. And it's a very condensed semester, so we'll spend some time creating a presentation about the healthcare system in the United States that we'll actually bring to Morocco with us and present to the medical students and the students at Emma Business School about Morocco, about the American healthcare system. So that'll be a lot of fun. This picture here, you want to go back, Kirsten? Sorry. This picture here, this is actually the students that came with us last time. We did this trip in 2022. The students had a great time. And they actually went out with the students from Morocco. So there were some medical students and some business college students that they went out with. And this is my group that went last time, and they're up on top of the mountain. It's not really a big mountain, but up on top of a big hill, overlooking the city of Agadir there. So it's a port city. It's not as hot as people would think Morocco would be, but they had a great time. So that's just one of the things that you'd see while you're there. Okay, sorry, you can advance now. Okay, so the course is about public health and global health, and really it's a comparison between our healthcare system and the Moroccan healthcare system. You can see this healthcare systems are different all over the world, but it doesn't mean that you have to be a health student to benefit from this. Anybody can benefit from learning more about the healthcare system in this country and in other countries, right? So as I said, we're not sure if we're going to be meeting via Zoom before class or if we'll meet in person. It really depends on where everybody lives. I do a lot of hybrid classes where some people are actually on campus in person and some people are there via Zoom. There are some assignments since this is a course. One is class discussions. When I say class discussions, we'll have some beforehand, but we'll also every day we meet. Every day when we're in Morocco, we'll meet for a daily debriefing. There's some readings and some presentations. There's a final paper, but it's not on the slide, but we do daily blogs, and I allow the students to choose their mode of how they want to do the blog. I had students last time I had one young lady who did TikTok every day. I had people who posted on Instagram. So it's not, these look like kind of boring assignments, but the presentations are also done in any format students want to do it in. I had students who did newscasts. I had students who did, like commercials about study abroad. So it's really, we try to make it a little more fun than that looks when you're looking at class discussions and presentations. So yeah, we visit the university in Agadir. We visit the medical school. So that picture on top, I'm not really sure if that, I don't think that's my students, but that could be at the medical school and some pictures of Agadir below that. So who can take this course? Like I said before, we do have like kind of a priority, but it doesn't mean that anybody who's not a health related student can't be in the program. So any student in a health related program is welcome to join. Graduate students will get first priority because they're going to be leaving sooner, and then undergraduates going from senior to down to freshman. Last time we had 50 people apply for 15 spots, and because it was during COVID, it ended up that everyone who wanted to go was able to go. So I don't want I don't want to persuade anyone not to apply. Please apply if you're interested in going on the course, right? This, again, the course does focus on health, on healthcare systems, but you do not have to be a health related student to benefit from this. Last time we went, we had international business students, we had English students, and they all felt that they got a lot out of the trip. You can see these pictures the on the slide. Up top is a picture of the students who went last time. They were visiting the hospital in Agadir, and below is a picture, in I believe that was taken in the medical school, which is a brand new medical school in Agadir. And our students who have been to medical schools and the labs in medical schools here have said that it's state of the art and better than most of the schools that they've seen here in the United States. Guess we could go to the next slide. Okay, so where are we going to stay when we're in Agadir? We haven't confirmed the hotel yet, but we're trying to stay in the hotel we stayed in last time. It was right on the beach, beautiful spa-like hotel. It was guarded 24/7, so nobody could get into the grounds unless they were actually a guest at the hotel. It had basically all-inclusive resort. So it was a nice place to relax, to see the beach, although we were not at the hotel very much during the day. As far as food goes while you're there, if you're a vegetarian, there's no problem. Even vegans had no problem, finding food enough to eat there. But if you're looking for gluten-free food, that can be challenging, right? There are a lot of pasta, a lot of things that contain gluten. As far as clothing, what to wear, we are in Agadir. So Agadir is a very cosmopolitan city. There's a lot of tourism there. There's a lot of young people because the university is the biggest university in Morocco. But still, it's best to dress modestly and also act modestly while you're there. People ask often about, is it okay to show a tattoo? There's no problem showing a tattoo, but you should still be modestly dressed, so depending on where the tattoo is. These pictures here are taken at the souk, which is the market, and believe it or not, these fruits and vegetables on the bottom here, they go for rooms and rooms and rooms of fruit, spices, of all kinds of things in the souk. And I found out that's one of the favorite places for our students to be, right? And one of the Moroccan dishes is right on the bottom too. So housing is in hotels, probably better than your Holiday Inn Express, or they're it's a really nice hotel, and your food will be available as long as you're not gluten free. You can always write to me and ask me if you have some kind of accommodation as far as food, and I can tell you whether that would be available there. So go on to the next slide. Okay, so what are you going to do there, right? Once you're in Morocco, I know people want to know about the trips, and I see that these are taken from the trip we had last time. So we do have a partnership with two of the one local university and one local college. One at the university, we visit the medical school, and we were lucky last time they were doing some presentations there. I don't know what's going to be going on there when we're there, but we'll get a chance to see the medical school, and more importantly, we'll get a chance to actually mix and mingle with the medical students and with the faculty from the medical school in Morocco. So that's very interesting. It's a lot of fun. We'll also go visit the health department, and we had last trip, we didn't intend on going there, but some of the students found out that another group had been to an orphanage and asked to go there, and it was really, really informative. So we decided to go back to the orphanage this time, and we'll be bringing some donations to the orphanage with us. Last time, our students did some arts and crafts activities with the kids at the orphanage. We also explored the market, and this seems to be one of the things the students loved the best was going to the market. So you can see there's some blankets, some rugs, some baskets, but this market goes on for blocks and blocks and blocks. And you wouldn't believe how much you can learn about a culture from walking through a market, but we do. We also had a chance to do camel rides on the beach. So these are some of the students that came with us last time doing the camel rides. That day, and there's not a picture of it here, but that day we also had the traditional tea in a Moroccan tea house, traditional Moroccan tea house. And then some of our students, I believe these students here, they actually got the chance to take surfing lessons with the Moroccan surf champion, the champion of Morocco in surfing. So on the beach there. So we don't just do visits to health departments and universities. We try to get you to see some of the country and some of the culture. So that day was camel rides and surfing on the beach. We go to the argan oil factory where women press the argan oil and get sold for shampoo, for other things like that. Camel rides, I'm trying to think of all the things we do. Really expect to spend your days outside of the hotel exploring Agadir, which is very typical of cosmopolitan Moroccan city. I think this slide didn't all the way come through.
No, no, no. We're shifting gears. That's all.
Okay.
All right. So if you have thought about studying abroad, but you haven't been able to come to an Education Abroad 101 info session yet, I just want to spend some time breaking down some common myths and misconceptions about studying abroad. So the first one is that it's unaffordable, that it's just way too expensive, or that it's not safe, it's too risky, or that only certain students can study abroad, only certain majors, only certain um, uh, graduate students, and only certain undergrad. That's not true. Or that it's just a glorified vacation, that there's no studying. So we're going to go through each one of these and debunk them. So first things first, about affordability. Well, you can use financial aid to study abroad, right? Are there scholarships available to study abroad? Yes. So when you are considering the study abroad tuition plus program fee, we work really hard, and Dr. Sahli works really hard to make the program fee be as inclusive of everything that you need while abroad as possible. So the program fee for the Morocco program is $37.20, okay, but that includes almost everything. It's all of the housing, it's your round trip airfare, it's most of your meals, it's all visits to cultural sites, any, admission tickets, it's transportation while in country, and it includes international health insurance for 1 year abroad. Okay. Keep in mind that tuition for this 3 credit course, INT 394594, is separate from the program fee. Okay. So we said earlier that financial aid can be used for tuition study abroad, right? Tuition is going to be charged in summer term, part of 1. Okay. Keep in mind that for financial aid purposes, you are considered full time in summer terms at only 6 credits. So in fall terms, you're 12 credits for undergraduates and 12 credits in winter for undergraduates. That's full time. But in summer, it's not 12, it's only 6. Okay. Scholarships are available, and the Center for Global Engagement Scholarship is something that you do not have to apply for. If you are accepted into the program, you do not have, academic probation or a disciplinary record, and you are not in an outstanding balance, you automatically receive the CGE scholarship. Another part of the CGE scholarship is that it is automatically applying towards your program fee. Okay, so you have your financial aid, and it can apply towards tuition and certain eligible costs within the program fee. We'll get to that in a minute. But then you will have a scholarship from CGE that goes directly to your program fee. If you're in the honors program and you want to make this your off-campus experience, you can use off-campus experience funds for studying abroad. However, you should be talking to your off-campus faculty advisor about your project to see how studying abroad in Morocco is applicable to your off-campus experience capstone project. So when you are accepted into the program and you're being onboarded, one part that you will do is fill out some financial aid forms with me. Okay. Financial aid takes into consideration your program fee when they're assessing your financial aid package. Okay. So you apply in March, and financial aid is processing study abroad financial aid award offers in March in batches, and they do prioritize study abroad summer term. So they are considering the fact that you have tuition and a program fee. Okay. So financial aid form processing is really, really simple. If you're accepted, you will get forms to sign and complete and send back to me. Then financial aid receives those forms. They'll enter your estimated financial aid offer amounts. They will send you the offer estimate via email. And if you have questions about your offer, then you can discuss that with financial aid. If you are even considering studying abroad this summer, it is never a bad idea to make an appointment with the Office of Financial Aid Study Abroad advisor, Sarah Cyrus. She's a financial aid advisor that specializes in study abroad. Okay. Make an appointment with her. You can do that now or next term to ask, do I have remaining aid in summer term if I am studying abroad? Ask her if you have any remaining Pell or remaining loans that can be used in the summer term, and ask, what could be a potential aid offer if you're in only 3 credits versus being in 6 credits, right? Because remember, if you're part-time versus full-time, the amount that federal aid can award is different. Okay, so it's never too early to discuss that with financial aid in just general terms to see if you still have aid available. Okay, but you will not get your official summer term aid offer from financial aid until March.
Can I just reiterate something before we go
Yep.
on to the next myth? I really want to stress that we do include everything that you'll need to have, except for maybe your passport fee. We cover everything from practically the minute you get to the airport in Detroit till you get back to the airport in Detroit. There were a couple students who decided they wanted to have a fancier meal or go to a spa one day. And they did obviously have to pay extra for that or any souvenirs. But you can really count that you don't need very much spending money. And it depends, of course, on what you like to spend money on. So I just want to reiterate that it may seem like a lot of money, but once you get the scholarships and the aid and whatever else you're going to get, it really is reasonable for really a great experience abroad. Sorry, Kristen, I didn't mean to.
That's okay. And oftentimes, students have aid cover the majority of the cost, tuition and program fee. Some years, students receive aid that even results in a refund. Okay. Um, and on the WorldLink application, we have a cost breakdown that shows here's the cost of the program fee, here's what it includes, and here are some optional costs that you can consider, like Dr. Sahli said, your passport, or if you want to bring tourist money, spending money, or if you want additional money for extra meals or fancier meals and whatnot. Okay.
Or if you're somebody who doesn't live in the Detroit area, of course, you'd have to get to the Detroit airport.
So it's only for certain students. You've never traveled internationally. You don't have a passport. You don't speak French or Arabic. You're not health care administration or public health major. Sorry, I didn't get to edit the Spanish. That's an overlook on my part, right? That's okay. If you've never been on a plane before, if you've never left Michigan before, that's okay. That does not disqualify you from being accepted into the program. And in fact, we work very closely with students in study abroad advising and at our mandatory pre-departure orientation for all students studying abroad about how to best prepare to travel abroad. So if you, let me go back for a second, if you have a chronic medical condition, you're wondering, okay, I'm diabetic, how would I bring my insulin onto a plane? I have resources about that. If you need to set up an advising appointment to talk about how to make a travel health plan, I'm here for you. We have also resources on how to apply for a passport. We have resources on identities abroad. How are you going to be perceived while abroad, right? So if you have never traveled before, that is okay.
And
Right?
this is actually probably the best opportunity to do this because you'll be supported the whole way through your trip. You're not just going overseas by yourself and having to fend for yourself the first time. I didn't mean to butt in, to interrupt, but it's the best time. And I'm going to tell you something about myself. The first time I ever went abroad it was a high school trip, was a study abroad trip, and it changed my life. So this is something that could actually change somebody's life. As far as speaking a foreign language, we're going to be at the medical school and with the business college. Everyone speaks English and they love to practice the English. So that won't be a problem at all. But if you do speak French, Arabic, Berber, Spanish, you'll find somebody speak almost every language there. So it's really kind of a lot of fun like that.
So another myth is that there's only travel and there's not a course. So this is an opportunity to earn credit towards your degree. You should speak with your academic advisor and Dr. Sahli about how this would count towards your degree. Um, there is a course and travel. It's not just travel, and you're going to be able to make a lot of connections while abroad. There's Moroccan peers you're going to be meeting with. There's a lot of professors and possibly public health officials you'll be meeting with. So this is also an excellent networking opportunity as well that you can then articulate in a resume, a cover letter, or on your LinkedIn once you return. So I encourage students to think of this as an investment in yourself, in your education, and in your career, with the added bonus of traveling to Morocco with Dr. Sahli and getting to immerse yourself in another culture. So another myth is that it's not safe to study abroad. So as Dr. Sahli said, you are supported throughout the trip and you're also supported before the trip. So we work very, very hard to enforce and monitor and look at risk management. So before these programs are even approved, there are a lot of protocols that these programs go through. So um, we have safety plans, we have special health plans in the event of an emergency. You know, this is a lot of the preparation that students don't see that's on the back end from Dr. Sahli, myself, and administrators supporting the program. We also have a mandatory pre-departure orientation. It's actually quite fun. We have all students studying abroad on a faculty-led program gather for a day in April. It's about a half day. And we go through, you know, we have focus groups, we go through health insurance, we go through emergency protocols, we go through a lot of information at orientation. You also will be provided on-site emergency support. If something happens, you know, you're not alone, right? We have protocols for that, which we go over in pre-departure orientation. Like I mentioned before, if you want to speak about maybe you have a chronic condition or you have some questions about international mobility and you know your identity, or you have a DASS accommodation request, we are here to support you. So do not be shy. I am on campus Monday through Wednesday. You're welcome to email me, set up an appointment, and you're also welcome to ask Dr. Sahli questions as well.
Absolutely.
So I I've also been to North Africa, so I can help advise on some aspects of it, but Dr. Sahli would be someone also to consider reaching out to about Agadir specific questions.
One of the good things is we're visiting the medical school and the hospitals, so you know we're right near there. Like there, all those things are there. I do want to say that last time we went, COVID was just kind of the end of the lockdowns. Right now, the United States and Morocco are going through measles outbreaks, so I don't think it's required yet, but I do suggest that if you do decide to go, and even in just general, you make sure that you're vaccinated against measles.
Do you need a passport? Yes, you do, but you're not going to need a visa if you're a US citizen. Okay, so if you're not a US citizen and you are looking at participating in this program, you will need to apply for a visa. I'm happy to share resources on how to obtain official government information about how to do the visa application process, but we cannot apply for visas for you or process visas, but we can point you in the direction of resources on how to find out how to do that. So if you are a US citizen and you don't have a passport, apply now. Passports are valid for 10 years. We have resources on WorldLink on how to apply. It's very detailed. It directs you to the exact US Department of State sites that explain each step. And then in the CGE, we have blank DS-11 forms. We have guides on what's the difference between a short form birth certificate versus a long form. We have resources on gender marker X and a lot of other stuff. So just know that if you've never applied for a passport before, that's okay. We're here. We're here in the CGE to help you.
Also, your passport has to have at least 6 months left on it. So if your passport's expiring in June, you still need to get a new passport because you'll have to have 6 months left on it before you can enter Morocco.
It's a good point. You have to apply. Yes, all students have to apply, but it's really, really simple. You just go on WorldLink. We have the application live. You click this button, live now, apply now, and you answer a couple questions. What's your major? What's your UMID ID? Okay, it's very, very simple. On the WorldLink brochure, which you can access in the QR code, there's QR codes all across campus. There's links on our Instagram page. There's links on the CGE page. It's very simple to navigate and get to. We have an overview of the course. We have the tentative itinerary. We have information about housing, about costs, a breakdown, dates and deadlines, contacts, and we're also going to have a recording of this info session uploaded onto the brochure as well. So if there's something you forgot in this presentation or you want to revisit, it's all there on WorldLink. And you only need to click apply and log in with your UMIsh login details, authenticate just like you do for accessing, Gmail and whatnot. Authenticate with Duo Mobile, and then just click apply now before March 1st. So how do you log in? So on here's a screenshot of the WorldLink. Use my mouse. The WorldLink homepage. Okay. You're going to first log in by clicking the little person icon up here. And then you'll see this screen and it says log in to get started. U of M-Flint students do not need to create an account, right? So you don't need to click new user create account. You don't need to click non-UM login. That's not for you. You just click the UM login page, okay? And then it's going to bring you to the Shibboleth portal where you authenticate. Then once you're logged in, you will be brought back to the home page. You click faculty-led programs, and then you will find the Morocco link that brings you to the brochure. You click apply now. It's very, very simple. Okay, but you have to apply before March 1st. So a rundown of some deadlines, important dates. So March 1st is the application deadline. You'll know if you've been accepted on or before March 8th. And then we're going to have a next steps meeting where we go over again, okay, financial aid forms, when are they due? How do you fill them out? How do you complete your pre-departure orientation requirements? There's some videos you'll be watching, you'll be uploading your passport, things of that nature. If you don't have your passport by March, that's okay, but you'll have to have your passport obviously before you leave, okay? And we go through all those next steps in a virtual meeting. So we'll pick a date and a time that works for almost everyone, and we'll record it for those who might not be able to attend. Then on April 10th, mark your calendars now if you're planning on applying, because we have a mandatory pre-departure orientation, half a day, lunch is served. And then the summer term tuition deadline is April 15th. Okay, and this is also when your deposit to commit to the program is due. The deposit is $500. It goes directly towards your program fee. You cannot use financial aid for it. But if you receive a refund, oftentimes students will get that deposit back. But this deposit is important because it solidifies who is going so that logistics can be booked. Okay. The day that financial aid disperses for summer is May 4th. Sometimes it disperses a few days earlier. It really changes from year to year, but that's also when scholarships are going to be dispersed. And that scholarship from CGE goes directly towards your program fee. So while tuition for the university in summer term is due April 15th, I give you a little bit more time for the remaining balance of your program fee to be due so that financial aid can process, financial aid can hit your account, your scholarship hits your account, and then you see if you have any funds remaining, any balance remaining due. Sometimes students don't have a balance. Sometimes students only have a balance of a couple $100. Sometimes, it varies student to student based on what their financial aid package is. And financial aid and the cashier's office are very, very helpful in letting you know, okay, this is the amount of aid you have. This is what your total tuition and program fee amount is. Your program fee is the same for everyone, but tuition varies, right? If you're a graduate student, if you're in state, if you're out of state, if you're an undergraduate, right? Tuition's variable. And then you're going to travel to Morocco on the 16th, then come back tentatively on the 26th.
17th.
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 Oh, it's changed. Okay.
No, it was the 17th on the other slide. Yeah, it's 17th.
Okay.
It was the 16th last year, but everything's kind of, well, not last year, last time we did it.
So I'll correct that, but tentatively the 17th and 26th. Correct?
Well, I don't know how tentative it is. I think that's pretty much written in stone. Like,
Okay.
we've already decided on those days.
Okay. Well, sometimes flight stuff can get.
Yeah. No, yeah, I don't want to get into like getting off in Paris in another country because that just creates another, do we have the visas? Do we have this? So we're going to make sure that we actually fly because we can't fly directly, that we make that connection. And I think Sandy's already checked and it's available.
All right, so if you want to send me an email, chat privately about health planning, identity abroad, safety abroad, I'm here. If you have problems or issues technically with the WorldLink platform, send me an email. I'm happy to help. And then if you see this QR code, it's going to lead you to our handy dandy link tree. And that's where you're going to be able to access links to this recording, access links to the WorldLink platform, the application directly to Morocco. So like I said, there's a lot of ways to access the WorldLink platform. And if you have any questions, I'm here, Dr. Sahli's here, and we're happy to answer any questions you got.
And don't worry about which one you ask. If we don't know the answer, we'll ask the other one. I have, the connections in Morocco. Sometimes Kristen and I, neither one of us can answer, but I can contact them and find out what the answer is pretty easily. So, would you like to open it up to questions?
Be shy.
I have a quick question.
Okay.
Is it possible? So this summer I'm in the MedLife Club, and I think the MedLife trip is the same time as this trip, unfortunately.
Hmm.
So I was wondering, could I still go if it was the summer after my last semester?
So if you've already graduated, and you've already matriculated and you will have already finished graduation, then you wouldn't be able to.
Okay.
But if you're not graduated yet, then yes, you would be able to.
Okay. So is it where I could like delay a credit or something and then
You would have to talk to your advisor. I would talk to my academic advisor about that. I don't know what program you're in. If you're in public health and health sciences, maybe talk to Brenda or Jennifer, but I don't know what program you're in. But I would
I'm
talk
in?
to my academic advisor. But just one caveat, this trip may not run every year.
Okay.
So like, I'd like to run it every year. Sometimes we're just not able to. We had 2 years we couldn't do it because COVID,
Uh-huh.
other things happened. So just I can't guarantee you that this is going to be an every year trip.
Yeah,
Okay.
and to that we discourage students to delay their graduation so
Mm-hmm.
purposes of studying abroad, only because things change and then students at times can find themselves in predicaments where, that study abroad didn't run that year, or they
Mm-hmm.
ran out of aid because, they've
And
delayed, they've already used aid for their degree and whatnot. So definitely speak with your academic advisor to understand what the implications would be of delaying your graduation. Um,
Okay.
if if it doesn't delay your graduation and you're able to travel this upcoming summer, great. Maybe you do the MedLife program the summer after, right? But if the MedLife program conflicts, you would have to make a choice. Are you going to be studying abroad this summer, or are you going to be doing MedLife? Does that help answer your question?
Yeah. Yep. Okay. That's all I had. Thank you guys so much for having the meeting.
you're welcome. Or consider graduate school because we do take graduate
Yep. There we
students,
go.
right?
Maybe I'll do that.
All right.
Awesome.
Thank you,
Thank you so
Abigail.
much.
Mhm. Thank you.
All right, so it seems like that was our only question. So let's
I don't know what MetLife is. I don't even know what that
and
program
if
is.
anyone has questions, Dr. Sahli's email is msahli@umich.edu, and mine is kcanavan, CANAVAN @umich.edu, or you can just email studyabroad@umich.edu, and we'll get you where you need to be to have your answer. So thank you very much.